How are things going for everyone? Hey everyone, welcome back to Coins Alert. We're going to talk about everything related to XRP. Thanks for listening every day. You guys are great. But let's not waste any more time and look at what's going on and what we might expect on Tuesday morning. It's clear that Arthur Bruto's return to the crypto space after a long break has caused a lot of excitement. When we talk about excitement, the market was already that. As the week began on Monday, XRP was getting up speed. With Arthur Bruto's visit, the community is really out in full force, having a great time, and all the excitement is building. There is a lot of talk going around, and one of the biggest rumors was that this was hacked. But David has come out and said, I can confirm that this was not a hack or a compromise. It is Arthur Bruto himself who has, this is what we did. So if you look at the market as a whole right now, there is a huge amount of green. You can see that many crypto assets are up more than 10% right now. As of Tuesday morning, the price of XRP is about $219, and the price of Bitcoin is up 4.3% compared to the same time last year. It's worth $129.05 billion vol, if you're interested. To put this in perspective, XRP's value has gone up by over 10 billion vols since last night. It is now worth 130 billion vols, and about 4.3 billion vols is traded every 24 hours. And when I get the charts, I really want you to understand that we are getting closer and closer to that key range retest, and it's starting to show how much power XRP has. As always, before we go any further, I want to make it clear that nothing on this show is meant to be money advice. When you invest in cryptocurrency, you should always do your own study and due diligence. As you know, about 3.6 million Bitcoin and 100 million Ethereum were bought on June 23rd through ETF trades. Also, some big news. Texas has set aside $10 million to buy a Bitcoin for its strategic Bitcoin hoard. This could make Texas the first state in the US to buy Bitcoin. There is, of course, even stranger news right here. We talked about how Circle IPO has grown by 10 times since it began. Those who bought during the pre-sale of the IPO are now 10 times richer if they didn't sell. In related news, Anthony Pompliano of ProCap Financial has raised $1 billion to buy Bitcoin. This is the biggest initial public offering IPO fundraising event in history. Hold on tight, because there are rumors going around that they are also going to take this company public, which doesn't surprise me anyway. Why does it not surprise me? Because, of course, there is a lot of interest, and not just from a ROI point of view. These companies see the possibility, and they know this will bring in a lot of money. I think this one, Total Insanity Circle, which is almost $300 a share, is a great example of that. This is crazy stuff all by itself. Anyone who joined Circle, even at the start, is probably up 8 to 9x now, which is crazy again. You should now know how much more people will be looking at crypto businesses. I also think that a lot of crypto companies will go public. Without a doubt, I believe that a huge amount of money will move from Wall Street to these companies that are planning to go public. As I already told you, only a few will last in the long run, but the hype isn't going away anytime soon. Look at what the U.S. head of federal housing says about what we're seeing. This is not my opinion, by the way. We will look into how stocks of cryptocurrencies can be used to get mortgages. That's crazy. That's crazy right now. It's clear that some banks and other financial companies might not offer these services to their customers. Some small credit unions and banks are taking a look at this, but think how big this would be. You should think about what this means for this digital object, like space itself. And of course, Bitcoin and XRP, because if you own XRP, you might be able to get this in the future. But again, I'm sure there are other risks that come with it as well. But that's where you talk to the expert, and they'll go over those as well. This is yet another step in the right way for the whole digital world. But look at this. Paul Barron says, I think rates will go down in July. Of course, we all know that June is almost over, and that the second half of the year has begun. And Paul Barron says, I think rates will go down in July. Also, you should know that the FOMC meets in July. Oil prices have dropped 7.5%, which is a big sign that the markets think the conflict between the US and Iran will end right away. The price of oil and crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum, is now less than it was the day before. POTUS ran for office. Rates could be lowered by the Federal Reserve with this good pitch, which would be great. When interest rates go down, I believe it will be good for the cryptocurrency world because it makes buyers feel safer. Of course, you should look into crypto and other things, which will be fun. We will see what happens, though. As you know, broken to smoke, there will be a supply shock for XRP before BTC. In about 2140, there will be 21 million Bitcoins available. In the next few years, there will be the same number of XRP coins available. Please see the documents below. This one is from Wisdom Tree, which is an asset manager that has filed for an ETF. But now let's look at what's happening with the price in terms of control, which is at 65.22% right now. The fact that our last yearly high was in May makes it clear that that level is acting as support. Take a look at BTC again. Let's make it live again. You can check this out for yourself. At the time this change was made, Bitcoin was moving up and was worth $105,660. You guys already know how important that 106,800 key resistance is. We'd like to see that barrier break. Should it be able to do that, I think this week will be very, very exciting for the space. But if you look at XRP back at the 38-point Fibonacci retracement level, you'll see that we hit our goal of $91. The price of XRP has gone up 15% since then. There won't be any words for the haters right now because we're back in the 38.2 like we never left. There will be another test of the 230-30 key resistance, as I said at the start of the report. I think this is the third time, and it happened just this month. If we can get out of that level, I think we could start moving up to 250 cons and fex and 23 farts and 6, which would be great. That support is only a 6% move too. From where we are now, I think we will test that again in the next few hours, especially if BTC can get back above that key support I've been talking about all along. It would also be a good sign if control kept going down. We'll take care of you guys. Why wait? If you haven't already, subscribe now. Click the red subscribe button, and we'll see you later in Coins Alert.